Hey everybody, Dr. Greco here. Welcome to Crossroads School of Ministry, Ministry in a Minute. So we've been talking about peace all week, and I love the fact that we've built this picture, the eternal and then the practical or the temporal. But I want to highlight in just a minute here Jesus' conversation about peace after the Last Supper. I think the timing of discussions of topics by Jesus is always important. And after the Last Supper, he washes their feet in the book of John, and then they go out and they have this lengthy teaching, John 14, 15, and 16. And then in 17 and 18, Jesus has this high priestly prayer. He goes to the cross and then he comes back. And at the end of the book of John, there are three instances where Jesus talks about peace and teaches about peace. The first one is in John 14, and Jesus says, "My peace I give you, my peace I leave with you." And what he is saying is what we've said over the last couple days. The original, the primary, the most important foundational source of peace is the cross. If you don't have Jesus as your peace giver, you're not going to find peace. Okay? And so, plain and simple, the cross is number one. Salvation is where peace comes from. That's what Jesus says right before he goes to the cross. I'm doing it for your peace. And then, just at the end of this conversation, before he prays the high priestly prayer, verse 16, he says, "I have told you these things so that in this world you may have peace." He says, in the world you're going to have trouble, but take heart, I've overcome the world. So he says, I'm the source of peace. Now you apply it. And this is what we've done the last couple days. We talked about the eternal, then we talked about the temporal. There are sources of peace that we have. And then in chapter 20, after the resurrection, he comes back and he meets with the disciples. And they're worried about the Jewish leaders. And then they're excited because Jesus is there. And then Thomas says, I want to see the holes in your hands. And Jesus uses the word peace in all three of those instances. He greets them with the word, peace to you. Now, he doesn't do that other places in the Bible. So why, after talking about peace and talking about peace, is he now using the word peace? Because he's showing them and he's showing us that if you need peace in difficult times, Jesus is the source. If you have doubts, Jesus is the source. If you need to celebrate joy or you need to find some joy, Jesus is the source. And as peace relates to all these different areas in our lives, whether it be fear or doubt or sadness, okay, Jesus is the answer. I love the scriptures. Learning about how Jesus taught gives me peace. We'll see you tomorrow for another Ministry in a Minute.